I'm attorney Phil Jusino, and this is the Phil Jusino Show, coming at you from Strathmore Studios. This show is brought to you by Big Belly Barbecue, the best barbecue on Long Island. For this show, my producer, Dan Jusino, will be mic'd up. We have a very, very special guest today, world-renowned archaeologist, often called the real-life Indiana Jones, former Minister of Tourism and Antiquities in Egypt, Dr. Zahi Hawass. Welcome aboard, Doctor.
Thank you.
You know, I find it interesting. I'm an attorney, and I read about you, and I know early on when you were a young man, you were thinking about becoming an attorney, but I guess the boring law books caused you to go a different way. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's true. When I was in the age of 10, I really was dreaming to be a lawyer. I think because what I saw in the movie of successful lawyers,
Right.
things like that. And this is why in the age of 15 and a half, I did join college in Alexandria. And I went to faculty of law.
Wow.
I bought the books, but when I began to read the books, I found that cannot be my career. Then I did go to Faculty of Arts. In
Yes.
Faculty of Arts, there is about 20 departments. But they told me there is an archaeology department opened. I said, what they do? They said, to become translator. I stayed 4 years at the university, and I did not like studying archaeology. And after I graduated at the age of 20, in that time, the government gave a job to everyone graduated from university. I got a job as a respective antiquitous. And also, I did not like the people in antiquities. I decided to join Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I failed to do that. I came back and they sent me to an excavation site. During the excavation, the workmen found the tomb. And they asked me to excavate in the middle of the tomb. I found in the middle of the tomb, there was a beautiful statue of Aphrodite.
Yes.
I began to clean the statue. I said, I found my love. I had passion for archaeology since I discovered that statue. And this is why I had to go and study more, because I was not a good archaeologist. I did not study archaeology. I had a master from Carey University and a PhD from University of Pennsylvania, and that's really changed my life.
Right. I find it a metaphor because Aphrodite is the Greek goddess of love, and you found your love and your passion
Exactly.
in a sense when you found that statue.
Yeah.
I find that amazing. See, as an attorney, when I saw the law books, it captivated me. But for you, it caused you to go a different way. Now, I also, again, I do my research, and I saw that King Tut's tomb was discovered around 1922 by a man named Carter. And you had said at some point in your career that it's time for Egypt to take back its history, because a lot of these archaeologists that were doing all these digs were not, they were British or American, they weren't Egyptian. So why was it so important to you that Egypt take back its history?
To announce when I became the head of antiquities that if we need to compete with foreigners, we have to study.
Right.
And this is why I began to make training to young people, and you educate them, take doctorate degree from outside, and really I made a generation who really are the best in archaeology now. And this is why I'm excavating with them now in Saqqara, Giza, and Luxor. Major important excavation. And we make major important discoveries for the first time.
Right. Now, I watched the Netflix documentary, Unknown, the Lost Pyramid. And I find what you do is fascinating. And you said something that really caught me. And I didn't even have to write it down. I remembered it. It said, the past is sleeping in darkness. Now, and I heard you say something about 70% of Egypt's treasures are underground. That's it's amazing to me that when you think about all the discoveries that were made, it's like the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg you see. Tell us a little bit about that. Like 70%,
It
that seems
is.
mind-boggling to
If
me.
you come to a site like Saqqara, almost every day we discover a statue or a tomb. You have to know that modern Egypt is built above ancient Egypt. And therefore, even if you dig in the courtyard of anyone, you'll discover antiquities. The sites from Abu Simbel up to Alexandria,
Uh-huh.
major important sites are not excavated yet. And this is why I really say, and I'm sure of that, that we discovered only 30% of the Egyptian monuments. And still, there is 70% is buried underneath the ground. And you never know what the sand of Egypt may hide secrets.
Right. Now, what I find fascinating, and I talk to people about this, it looks like your job's a lot of fun. Some people start digging, and all of a sudden you uncover something. But it is very tedious work, correct?
It is. It is really an amazing when you are digging on the sand and suddenly you found a shaft going down for 60 feet inside the shaft, a sealed sarcophagus, opening the sealed sarcophagus, and you put your head and you see inside a beautiful golden mummy. Amazing, or a statue coming out of the sand.
And what got me is again when I watched the Lost Pyramid, how dangerous it is because when they lowered that first man down, that shaft
It is,
it's like a mine shaft that could easily collapse. And this guy
yeah, but
didn't even seem like he had a care in the
people,
world.
yeah, people always tell me, aren't you afraid when you go down with ropes that the rope will be broken? I say I never thought about that because I'm concentrating on what
Right,
I'm going to discover when I arrive down.
right,
And when I discover something, I forget everything.
right. I seem that how laser focused you and that the other men are. Like when they go down there, it's just like they're walking into another room. It's not that there's a lot of rock on top of them, and if that collapses, they're done.
Yeah, it's yes, true.
That's amazing. Now, also, I what grabbed me was you talk about your legacy, and you say that you have educated many archaeologists, and one of the things you really can't teach is passion. You could teach them technique, you could teach them how to do things, but what struck me, and I feel the same way in my life, how you want the next generation of archaeologists to have the same passion. Do you see that? Do you have any concerns about that?
You know, people tell me all the time, who are you? Who are you the only one who can talk in the TV? I say I never ask anyone to put me in the TV. People run after me to be in their shows.
Right.
And I'm saying that I taught young people everything. But the only thing that I cannot teach them is passion. And
Right.
that's why when I talk about archaeology, as if I'm talking about my passion, as if I'm talking to someone, a lady that I love,
Right.
and
Right.
because the words comes out of my heart. And I'm still, when I retired in 2011, I still more busy than before, excavating everywhere, lecturing. You know, I was in America giving a lecture tour in 23 cities in last May and June.
Wow.
In May and June 2025, I will do the same big lecture tours in the States and Canada.
Wow. You have a lot of energy. One thing I read, it said you have a friend, Rainier Stadelman, and he said you make Egyptology dynamic. What does that mean, and how do you do that?
I don't know. As I told you before, to make Egyptology dynamic because of the discoveries, because of the books that I published, because of the excavations that I do. Like I found recently the Golden Lost City, an amazing discovery. It was disclosed by Archaeology magazine, as the most important discovery for year 2021. All of this really give the passion and make archaeology in action all the time.
Wow, that is fascinating. Now, one of my producer had a question. Oh well, I wanted to ask you this. Now, 9/11 came, which obviously in America was devastating, and tourism was greatly affected in Egypt. Correct?
Yes,
How did you help bring tourism back after
I
9/11?
do. For example, I made many live TV from Egypt to America and all the world. In 2002, I made one program seen by billions of people everywhere. And also, when I see any accidents, I make something live with Judge Gates. I made before COVID a big live program for Discovery Channel. And also my lecture tours. There is a company in Egypt called Archaeological Bath. They used my name and they made publicity in America. Come to visit Egypt, and they bring 5 big groups every month because they used my name.
Right, right. Yeah, I like watching Josh Gates and Expedition Unknown, Expedition X. That brings a lot of what you do to us because
Yeah,
that's a very popular show.
good.
Good. The other question I have is, in the few minutes we have left, what would you say? Because again, I do a lot of research and I'm a big fan of Egyptology, and it's amazing how these were built. What do you say to pseudoscientists or the pseudoscientist community? Let's say like a Graham Hancock and his
You know,
documentary Ancient Apocalypse. What do you
I
say to
want
someone like that?
how Hancock and others can ignore the archaeological evidence. For example, what do you say about a major discovery that happened 3 years ago? It's called the Wadi al-Jarf papyri, written in hieroglyphic and hieratic.
Yes, I
It's
saw that.
talking about building the pyramid for the first time. What do you say? You know, he doesn't understand that the pyramid was a national project of the whole nation. Every household in the south and the north participated in building the pyramid. If you try to do it today, you'll never do it
Right.
because you don't have the same dedication that the Egyptian had. I found the tombs of the pyramid builders. Tells us about the builders of the pyramid. Graham Hancock is maybe a person who published books, then he can make some money. But you cannot, if you try to read my book that's written by me and Mark Lehner called Giza and the Pyramids, we offer all the evidence that can turn Graham Hancock theories down.
Right. Because if we watch a lot of these shows like Ancient Aliens, they don't give enough credit to ancient civilizations that
Yeah.
that are smarter than we are, that can do things. And right away, it's got to be somebody from another planet because the pyramids were too difficult to build.
Yes, it is, as I told you, you cannot do it today because you don't have the same dedication. That is not a national project for you. Are you going to hire today 10,000 workmen to work for 28 years to build something that you don't believe in it? The Egyptian thought that was a national project. The 3 million who lived in Egypt participated in building the pyramid.
Okay. Now, to end this show, and it's been fascinating, the Lost Pyramid Huni. In the documentary, there were a couple of episodes. You still were looking for it. I know the season was coming to an end because you can only, I guess, dig 9 months out of the year. There are 3 months that are inhospitable.
Yes, I'm searching for it now, and you will hear good news soon.
Okay, that's going to be fantastic. Listen, I really want to thank you for coming on my show. It's been
You are
fascinating.
welcome.
And you know what? I invite you after you make some more discoveries, maybe in a
Where
year
are
or
you
so
based?
from now. I'd
Where
love
are
to
you
have you.
based? Where?
I'd love to have you back on my show to
Where
discuss.
are you based? Where do you live?
I live in New York on Long Island.
Oh, I'm coming to New York in August.
That's my birthday. What I'd like to do is
perfect.
I'll send you an email. Let's communicate with each other, and I'd love to see you when you come to New
when I
York.
come in August.
August. I would love to meet you, and my
I'm
producer will.
staying like 9 days in New York.
Okay,
in
I will
August.
make it my business. I'll make sure that I'm not on trial. I'll make it my business to come look you up, and that would be fascinating.
Thank
My
you.
producer would love to meet you. Like I said, he was the
Okay.
one that set this whole thing up. Listen, thank you very
Thank
much. You have a great
You are
day,
welcome.
and good luck with
Okay.
future discoveries.
Thank
You
you.
take care.